Well, could the nationalisation of mines alleviate the triple threat of poverty, unemployment and inequality in South Africa?
That is the big question. Election 360 starts right now.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Elections 360, and coming to you live tonight from the Oukasie Community Hall in Brits in the Northwest Province. And of course, we'll be joined by various political parties, as we all always are, and of course, a live studio audience. I'm Sakina Kamwendo, never alone though.
A very good evening to you, South Africa, those watching around the world. My name is Blaine Herman. Signing for us tonight is Augustine Klo. It's good to be with you in Brits, live in the Northwest. And look, unemployment, poverty in sharp focus. But we're not only going to focus on what is not working. Let's talk about what's working in this province. What's this province getting right as well? But also looking for avenues of opportunity on how to get better. The question is, could the nationalisation of mines alleviate issues like poverty, unemployment and inequality?
Which is, of course, something that is foregrounded in every debate that we have around elections in the country. But we, of course, start off, as we always do here on Elections 360. We sent our producers out onto the streets of Brits and just to speak to ordinary people to find out what their sentiments are.
And interestingly, Sakina, they told our producers that certain minds, certain local politicians are actually contributing to the massive joblessness in the area. Take a look.
Here we are faced with challenges, unemployment. Though we have mines around, but we cannot benefit because people are very, very unemployed at this side. It's a village.
NGO unemployment
We try to re-engage the mines, unemployment forum, the NGOs, rezame ho tla ka di proposals or ba zame ho fund.
Unemployment, life after matric ho thata. Ka 2022 ka October selera fela ke ntlo ra tlhokofalla le ke motswadi. So ever since ntlo go hae e chile are so great thuso a ho monate because a ke na le hae ne ke hopola ho nna mo hae a ke na motswadi a ke na le hae a re ke thuso because re nna mo mahaeng a re na di resources re thusa ho kra thuso. Like recall a little tsotlhe.
Eta, how's it? Leg man.
Can I lead Ruza from Oukasie Hall? The delivery process that I'm really check the mine to telling close.
They are mining chrome and all that, but we're not getting any benefits from those mines. As you can see, our communities here, 60% or 70% of young people are sitting without anything, without any works, without doing anything. The main issue is that these mines, they operate in this way. The gatekeeping is causing the ward councillors. Have a issue or no, don't hire this one, hire that one. Don't hire this one, hire that one. Then politicize this whole thing. How tomorrow no apply? As I would say, ward councillor, confirmation letter, ward councillor. What is that? Automatically, that ward councillor has a confirmation letter. Or the mine won't stop hiring. We'll hire somebody from Gumala. We'll hire somebody from where? You understand? We're knocking at them at the mine doorsteps. We're saying to them, please, whenever there are opportunities, you must start by looking by nearer communities, doorstep communities. You are not saying people far away from 50 kilometers radius, they must not benefit. It's wrong because of automatically we are prioritizing their human rights. Everyone has a right to be employed.
Many thanks to Tsile Kaswane there for that insert.
Indeed, Blaine. And of course, joined by the various political parties this evening. And let me start introducing them to you. From my extreme left, representing a Forum for Service Delivery, we have Mr. Abel Tau. For the Freedom Front Plus, Michael Groenewald in attendance this evening. From the Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania, we have Mr. Busiso Kaba. Bridget Masango is a representative from the Democratic Alliance, but from the EFF is Justice Babampi. And of course, we have from the African National Congress, Mikateko Masaule. So these are the political parties that we'll be debating with and be in conversation with this evening about some of the issues that the people of this region have foregrounded.
And we're focusing on mining, and could nationalization of mines alleviate the triple threat of poverty, unemployment, inequality. We're told about 380 mining-related companies in this area. The big question is, are people benefiting from it?
Indeed, Blaine. And of course, the audience, they will have an opportunity. But as you say, quite interesting if one reads through the stats in terms of what is happening. So we have those mining-related companies, 380, as you say. We've also taken a look at some of the targets that were set for BEE, and it seems most of them, just about thereabouts in terms of reaching them. So depending on the metric that you look at, you could think that we are doing well.
Right. So, Kenan, let me leave you. Let me head down to the audience. This is what it's all about, right? Talking to the audience, getting their questions, getting some of their solutions even. Putting it to the politicians here, could we find solutions tonight with regards to the possibility of alleviating poverty, unemployment, and inequality? Looking forward to the discussions.
Right, I'm going to start with the panel, and my first question is to everybody on the panel. Given the triple threat of poverty, unemployment, and inequality that's been with us as a nation for way too long, I want to ask of my panel this evening, given that South Africa is one of the 5 most mineral-rich countries in the world, given that South Africa is one of the companies in the top 10 when it comes to mining activity in the world, why is it then that we as South Africa find ourselves as the most unequal society in the world? Let me start with the ANC.
Thank you very much, Sakina, and greetings to you. Greetings to the beautiful audience, and greetings to the viewers at home. Sakina, the triple challenges that we face, as you would know, emanate from the apartheid era, colonialism, and colonialism of a special type, which is apartheid. We have moved since 1994 to say the mineral of the soil or under the soil belongs to people of South Africa. And therefore we have created a policy called MPRDA, which puts government through the people to own the minerals beneath the soil. That is why we are saying as the African National Congress that if you look at the MPRDA, at the center of what we are trying to do there is to give ownership to the people of South Africa and not private companies. And then that's why we brought black economic empowerment and other things that follows that.
All right, I'm going to move on, but the question remains, why do we then remain as the most unequal society in the world? DA?
Thank you so much, and good evening, colleagues. It is very interesting that we are meeting in one of the provinces that are mineral rich in terms of mining, and also the same province is leading in the country with unemployment at 52%. That is a very interesting scenario to paint. And of course, yesterday we were celebrating the 30 years of freedom in this country. So the question you are asking is a very interesting one, and we need to all make sure that we come up with something that for once is going to lift South Africans from the poverty that they are experiencing, and that needs to start with looking at the regulatory and the legislative frameworks that we are using, because what we've used since 1994 doesn't seem to be working, and we need to come to terms with that and actually say we are now going to make sure that this mineral, the mines of this country must be exploited by all South Africans. But that will be in terms of whatever legislation that we must, welcome such things as your small entrepreneurial mining.
I'm going to move on because I'm looking for the solutions here, because I'm going to repeat. We are in the top 5 in terms of mineral wealth in the world. We are in the top 10 of most mining efficient countries in the world. So why are we still poor? EFF.
No, thank you very much, Sakina, and greetings to yourself, the audience here, and the viewers at home. For obvious reasons, you've already stated the stats, so I will not repeat the stats. We all know we are facing the triple challenges of poverty, inequality, and unemployment. But as part of the solution, we are saying it cannot be any economy that wants to thrive. It must industrialize. All these mines, they are extracting raw materials and exporting them to your Britain, UK, and all that. So all the minerals that are extracted, there must be a local beneficiation. There must be factories that hire people and ensure that all these minerals are finished good. It cannot be that we mine your chrome and then we get it, we export it, and then when it comes here, it is no longer 10 rand, it is 100 rand. But we could have created jobs. But also the question of landlessness. If, as the state, we expropriate land and ensure that we distribute land equally, we'll deal with the triple challenges. If, as a nation, we have free education, we'll be able to deal with the challenges, the 3 challenges that you have. Also, the introduction of a wage gap. Till today, a rock drill is paid far lesser than the CEO of a manager who doesn't know what the mine inside looks like. He only reads about it. But the people who are doing the actual work, they are paid peanuts. So that is one of the interventions that, as the EFF, we believe that should, after we get into power on the 29th of May, and we implement some of these things, we'll be able to eradicate the 3 challenges.
Thank you. PAC.
The triple challenges are by design. If you remember that from the days of the beginning of the mining, from the dock tax to the head tax, the mining was creating surplus and cheap labor. And when you create cheap labor, you have to create unemployment. So the PAC view unemployment currently as a design. The sooner we get rid of private mining companies in our country, the faster. If you can see countries like Iran, like Saudi Arabia, who are extremely rich from their mine, their mining is done by state companies. Even if you look at Botswana, Botswana owns its diamonds. That's why its economy is growing fast and furious. So the PAC first solution is the state must do the mining. Secondly, the PAC view the issue of beneficiation as critical. Once you demand that no strategic mineral leave this country, or at least 80% of every category of mineral is beneficiated, 20% to the tertiary level, and the rest at least to the secondary level, the industrial capacity of the country will grow dramatically. So as the PAC, we also add the issue of education, hands-on education, not just theoretical and academic education, that will make our people be able to handle our beneficiation and our mining. Thank you.
Let's move on to the Freedom Front Plus.
Thank you, and hello to the viewers as well. I think firstly, to address the problem of nationalisation of mining, is to say that it will never work in South Africa because we have corruption, and as soon as there's corruption, they will take the money from the mines and there won't be a continuous investment from private sectors. We must understand that the continuous investment currently is coming from outside of South Africa. That's what keeps the mines running. So by nationalising it, it's the taxpayer at the end can pay for that mining. The mines must rather start and get to resolve to start more businesses for end product manufacturing. As soon as that is there, there's a better economy within specifically Northwest, and with a better economy, there will be more employment, addressing all three.
Well, thank you so much. And moving on then to the Forum for Service Delivery, and our apologies, Sir, Dr. Mbahare Kekana. Dr. Kekana?
Thank you. Let me correct first the name of Dr. Mbahare Kekana. My name is Chabas Khodo from Forum for Service Delivery.
I apologize, your name is?
Chabas Khodo.
Okay, your people gave us the wrong name, but we apologize all the same. Please continue.
Okay, thank you. I think we as Forum for Service Delivery, we believe that our mines must be nationalized because remember, our mines are benefiting few of and are benefiting whites, not the South Africans. The mines must benefit. We are saying the mines must benefit our people, our black people, and then not the government. Because remember, if the mines are going to benefit by the government, there's going to be a very big corruption, as we know that our country is under a serious corruption. There's a big corruption in South Africa. And we believe that the raw material must be taken, and we are taking a raw minerals. So I think we in South Africa, we can process our raw materials and sell them to other countries, rather than they take our raw material and sell it back to us with a serious price. And then this must stop. And we as Forum for Service Delivery, we believe if our people can vote for Forum for Service Delivery, we're going to make sure that these mines benefit our black people. And then again,
that's where we'll leave it. And that's your opening salvo from all the parties represented here this evening. And of course, we will continue and we'll hear from the audience with us as well. And the audience ready, rearing to go. But we're going to take a quick break here on Elections 360.
Get ready for an exhilarating journey throughout
And welcome back, and coming to you from a very vibrant Oukasie Community Hall here in Brits in the Northwest Province. And of course, this evening we're talking about poverty, unemployment, but we're talking about mining and mining beneficiation as well, given the minerals that are found in this particular province, and of course the mining activity prevalent here as well. And we heard the opening statements from the 6 political parties represented here. Some of them touched on policy shifts and also what's happening in neighboring Botswana in that regard, because when we look at policy shifts, we have numerous countries around the world who have actually implemented policies and legislation as well as taxation so as to limit the export of unprocessed materials out of those countries. Are we doing enough as South Africa? And if not, why not? But of course, Blaine Herman is down here with the crowd, and they have many questions. So Blaine, let me hand it over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, Sakina. Lots of questions. We need to get to the bottom of this. How is this beneficiation benefiting the community? Let's go to the community and ask them. So your name and your question.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Elliot Tobejane. I just want to specifically ask the question to the panelists, more particularly the ANC and the EFF, as they are representing the most vulnerable or historically disadvantaged communities, as to for the past 5 years, for the 5 years, because the mining area is an area that is regulated in terms of MPRDA. How did they actually assess the implementation of SLP, Social and Labor Plan? That is a document that allows the mines to operate in South Africa, if ever we talk the reality. And among that particular document, among the other things that community must benefit is a skills development, in terms of Skills Development Act, which is a legislative framework in South Africa. So I just want them maybe to tell the audience here as to, for the past 5 years, how many people out of this particular mining, and we are not referring to the cadetship, because cadetship is a portable skills. We want a technical skill like the artisanship and mining, blasting. How many did this mine trained out of this particular community as required by the MPRDA as a legislative? And
your question is directed to again?
My question is directed to ANC and EFF. I believe they are representing the most vulnerable communities.
Right.
Yeah,
thank you very much indeed, sir. Look, we're talking about South Africa as one of the 5 largest mineral-rich countries in the world. But is that wealth filtering up to communities at a pace that is making a dent in terms of unemployment and poverty? So your name and your question.
My name is Datlas Maimani. My question is really around...
Your question, sir.
My question is around, firstly, acknowledging that the presentation by the ANC rep here spoke volume about the type of intervention we intend to do in the economy of South Africa, and in particular in the mining sector. And my question basically is to say, the choice of policy by our government has been so precise that it was able to carefully balance between the role of the state and that of the private sector in such a manner that it benefits the rest of our people in terms of employment opportunity and reducing the inequality and also poverty among our people. What has been earlier raised around the role of the SLPs would be also a matter that I would request a response on, as to the capacity of oversight by both national and local government in making it necessary for our people to achieve what must be achieved in the shortest possible period.
Thank you very much indeed, sir. All right, let's try to keep our questions as short as possible. We've got a limited amount of time. Sakina, I want to take one more question, then I'm going to get some responses from the audience. Your question, sir?
My name is Serero Malapo. I have a question, straight direct question. to the manifesto of the EFF, also in support of the statement. Yes, the EFF is mentioning nationalization of mines and banks, of which I concur with, to stabilize the economy of South Africa. So my question, simply question, is that the EFF, how is it going to make sure that the implementation of nationalization in mines and banks is achievable? Because of, I believe that the EFF is from where the mother part has founded each and everything that is happening in the country. Them, they are trying to bring the change of that. So the question is that, how are they going to make sure what is happening in the recommendation of having the free society in earning what is a mineral into civilize their lives through those communities which are surrounding those mines, how they are going to make sure that it's not ushered the way the mother party is ushering everything there.
So a question of implementation. Sakina, 3 questions. Over to the panel.
All right. As we quieten down to give the panel a chance to respond to those questions that were put to them, let's start with the ANC and then we'll move to EFF.
Thank you very much, Sakina.
It is on.
The issue of SLPs, it's a fair point that is being raised here, that many companies have not been able to live up to the expectations and obligations that they said they will live up to. What needs to be done is that the government's monitoring process must be strengthened to see that these people or companies are able to live up to their objectives. When you are given a right, you commit yourself to do something. SLPs is part of that. And if you don't do it, government should take you to task as to why are you not doing what you are supposed to do. For what have we done in the past 5 years? The ANC government has given us artisanal mining, small-scale farmers, around 200 million to train them. Leave the fact that they are not organized. That's why they are not getting it right. But the biggest problem is that when they want to start working, remember they must go to almost abandoned areas where there's still mineral products. There's Amazamas that are heavily armed. They chase them back, and what do we do about that? We have sent soldiers, we have sent police to tackle that. And I can tell you, we are winning this war of Zamazamas. So we have done something in the past 5 years. Thank you very much.
Let's go to the EFF.
Thank you very much. So as the EFF, we are saying that to deal with all the issues, including the non-implementation of the SLP, is to nationalize the mines. Maybe perhaps we must be explicit to say what is to nationalize, because of maybe people may not understand what is to nationalize. If we nationalize the mines, it means changing the constitution, including the Mineral Petroleum Development Act, to make it explicit that the state will be in charge of all the mines and the minerals that are beneath the soil of South Africa. So that is the first thing that we are going to do. But what we're also going to do is to ensure that there is beneficiation. If there is a mine that mines chrome here, there must be a factory next door that will ensure that all those raw materials, they are processed. But what is surprising is that the mayor who's supposed to give answers is busy asking questions. It clearly shows what we are dealing with in the Northwest province, because the mayor doesn't know what should happen.
All right.
In terms of what we have done, again, I would agree that the EFF is the only organization that has brought forward amendments to the current constitution, to the bills, which were rejected, of course, by the bodyguards of the white monopoly capital, which is the ANC. They rejected all their progressive proposals to industrialize South Africa. But what we have done is that Samanco in Ward 27, there's nothing, all the developments, you must go and check after living here. Go and check the developments in Ward 27 and go and look at the Ward next door. You will realize that where the EFF governs, SLPs are honored. It means when we take over, we'll ensure that all communities, all the issues that the communities are raising, lack of infrastructure, lack of jobs, it will be dealt with because of won't need any SLP will say, hey, we have nationalized. This is what we are going to do. We are going to build a road here. We are going to build a school here. It won't need any SLP because of those mines will be under the custodian of the state. Thank you very much.
So this is where we are going to pick it up once more from the floor. But before that, we need to take a quick break here on Elections 360, coming to you live from the Northwest Province this evening. And of course, feel free to also engage us in our question for this evening. And you can send your responses there and we'll try and look at those as well. But for now, let's take a quick break. And welcome back, and we are in Brits in the Northwest Province, and we are at the Oukasie Community Hall, and talking about some of the issues that are top of mind for the residents and the electorate here in the Northwest Province. Our parties represented here this evening: the ANC, the DA, EFF, the PAC, the Freedom Front Plus, and the Forum for Service Delivery. And, you know, just by way of statistics, because there are so many to trot out, and one of them is that in this province, the Northwest Province is driven by mining. And mining actually generates 50% of this province's, in fact, more than 50% of the GDP of this province. So it is, of course, something that needs to be looked at very succinctly, but it also makes up and provides employment for over a quarter of the current workforce in this province. So you can see the importance of the sector. Blaine?
Thank you very much indeed, Sakina. So little time, so many questions. Let's get straight to the people that have gathered here. So your name and your question.
My name is John Molubi from the PAC. My question is direct to the PAC. I would like to ask the PAC this question, that the rural people of this country has shown capacity and expertise by discovering some of the mineral resources that were left without exploitation in this country. And then, now, those rural people are being victimized, they are called zamazamas. And then, we can imagine during the gold rush and the diamond rush, those companies, the white people were not called the zamazamas by that time. So now, what is the PAC going to do to make sure that those minerals that are discovered by those people in Limpopo, in the western, and also in the western side of Rustenburg, what are they going to do to make sure that they capacitate those communities to make sure that those mines remain in existence and their capacity to operate, so that the unemployment rate that is going scorch high in this country must go down?
Yeah, unemployment rate sitting at over 32%. Thank you. That question to the PAC. Say your name and your question.
My name is Danny from Klapgat. My question goes to EFF. What do you offer as to the community? Because our ruling party, yes, they rule for 5 years, but we are still complaining about unemployment. Yes, they create the jobs, but somewhere, somehow, they only hire you only if you are an ANC member.
So you want to know what the EFF is going to do?
Yes. All I want to know is what EFF are going to do. And my last question is, in the parliament, they are over 60, 50 years upwards. But when the posts come out, they said they only take people under the age of 28 downwards. So that's why unemployment is very high. It's because of that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much indeed. Two questions to the PAC as well as the EFF. Sakina?
All right, thanks, Blaine. PAC?
Indicated intent to nationalize
If I
under
could
the
just ask
state-owned.
the crowd to perhaps quieten down, and then for you to just speak slightly louder, please.
Thank you, Sakina. The PAC has indicated that it intends to put all mining under a state company. Those people who have shown such a capacity to explore will be preferred in further training and coming on board into labor of the mining. The PAC views the current state as total refusal of the ANC to govern. They prefer, as much as legislation allows them to license any company, because minerals now belong to the state, but they continuously give licenses to foreign companies almost all the companies in the country are basically foreign. The PAC will bring all of that nationally to benefit the country and to benefit the communities that are close by the mines, particularly, and the nation as a whole. Because once you drive the mining, once you drive the beneficiation, there are many more opportunities, and there are more opportunities to supply those mines from the private sector. But the core business should be run by the mine. As the PAC, we intend to govern. If the public give us power to govern, we will not outsource the power to govern. We'll do the job.
Thank you. Blaine, the second question, I didn't hear that. For which party was that question? The EFF.
No, thank you very much, Sakina. So, as the EFF, we are saying, in order to employ our people, we are going to insource all the security guards, the cleaners, to ensure that they are employed permanently. But as the EFF, we will abolish tenders and build state capacity by creating roads and housing companies, because we know housing and roads are a permanent crisis of South Africa. If you want a new settlement, there must be roads, there must be houses. So we are going to employ 4 million people in our first 5 years of governance in this through the roads and housing companies. But also we are going to ensure that all factories, they are reopened and we build more factories. We are going to ensure that the manufacturers, we also can manufacture a car, a toothpick, because currently we can't. A toothpick, simple thing as a toothpick. The phone that I'm having here, I got it, it is from China. So we are going to ensure that everything is manufactured in South Africa, and through reopening and building new factories, we are going to employ more people. We're also going to deal with 18 to 35 because there are people who have not worked for 35 years since they were born. And then when they become 36, the government cannot employ them. So we're going to deal with that. They are in parliament, old as they are, and they get paid every month. So we're going to ensure that 36 years upwards, they also are able to work. And indeed, we're going to deal with nepotism. You don't need to be an EFF member for you to be employed. As long as you have the capacity, you have the will, and you are patriotic to South Africa, then you'll be hired to work.
All right, so many more questions coming up. We have to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll continue, Blaine, with taking more questions.
Do you know how, why, when?
The questions are coming. And welcome back, Elections 360 in the Northwest Province this evening. And of course, continuing to take questions from the people here in Brits. Blaine?
Sakina, thank you very much indeed. We've got limited time for S2 viewers, so let's get some 3 quick questions, then we'll get some responses from the panel.
Thank you. Hundreds of illegal chrome wash plants are now being established in Madibeng, from Crocodile River Mine to Rustenburg, in the Magalies biosphere, on agricultural farms. They are polluting our water resources and our boreholes. What is the solution? Thank you.
Your question is directed to?
Mr. Groenewald.
All right, thank you very much indeed, ma'am. Let's get another quick question and then one more before we get some responses. So your name?
My name is Lodimbora. I'm from Botlhabelo High School. I would like to, my question goes straight to ANC, because since from 1994, ANC, they never created a job, because the job created by global event, because each and every year South Africa hosts a global event. And again, hope I dile as a country, while re na le mine e means re kono reka machine o producing a jewelry o kono producing a ring. Hope I dile as a country, because I believe each and every mine a year worth more than $1 billion. But why we can't afford to buy machine and create job to our people and give a land to our people and give back to the community?
Thank you very much. I think we've got your question. Let's take one more question, Sakina, and then it's over to you. So your name and your question?
Madoda Sambata from the ANC. I am asking whether is it not, again, a call for the ANC to fast-track its implementation of its existing policies. 3 of them on this debate. 1, preamble in the MPRDA, point 2 says, mineral and petroleum resources development resources are a heritage of the nation. The state is a custodian thereof. What other nationalization do other parties want? 2, does DA really have any policy on nationalization of mines? 3, the difference between nationalizing a mining company to all other organizations and the ANC laws, and a difference on nationalizing a mineral which is already nationalized. What do you want with mining companies and not control of your own mineral wealth, which belongs to you according to the ANC law?
Thank you very much indeed. Sakina?
All right. Interesting questions. Mr. Groenewald?
Thank you, and thank you for the question. I think, Thursday, when it comes to illegal mining...
Mr. Groenewald, just one moment, please. If we could just quieten down so we can listen to the answer, please.
I think when it comes to illegal mining, it is 3 times that the government failed the people of South Africa. Firstly, on a national level, where it's actually a criminal syndicate doing illegal mining. That chrome that has been washed must be sold somewhere. And there must be done more through a specialized unit to try to catch these people and eradicate illegal mining. Secondly, the Department of Forestry and Environment should act faster. We know already that when we lay a charge at that department, it takes more or less 2 years for them to start investigating complaints. Then these people are already gone from those farms. Thirdly, we must understand that the municipality also have a role when it comes to illegal mining. Mining activity within the boundaries of the municipality is illegal and they must act. It is not rezoned for mining. The Spluma legislation is quite clear. So they do have recourse. Why do they not act against these Thank you.
All right, before we say goodbye to our SABC2 viewers, I'm also going to give everybody a chance just to have a final word to the viewers on SABC2. So perhaps in response to Mr. Sambata's question regarding your policies around nationalization and what more do you want apart from what government has already put in place. Let me start at the end with Forum for Service Delivery. The mic is on, sir. The mic is on. Okay. I was asking, there was a question to all of the parties around the issue of nationalization. And what is your policy? What would you do differently? What do you want more from what legislation already proclaims? What more would you want to see?
Thank you. As we want the mines to be nationalized, what we are going to do is to make sure that we're going to create, to build the skills development centers that will be directly for mines, so that our young people can also get the chance to take over those mines. And then again, as Forum for Service Delivery, we're going to make sure that this illegal minings, we're going to make sure that we deal with the we make a department that will strictly deal with that illegal mining.
We'll come back. I just want us to each have a turn to say our final words to the viewers on SABC2. We'll continue on SABC News. Mr. Groenewald?
Thank you. In terms of nationalization of mines, we are feeling strong that it must stay privatized because of investment opportunities. But yes, when they do invest in our communities, and all the mines do, where the communities already benefit, obviously they can do more. But by creating a better economy where a better company can be flourishing within the boundaries of the law, it can also state that the community must partake within that business. That is where our true might lays within South Africa. That is how we can eradicate poverty through those. So I think in terms of nationalization, we already see what the parastatals looks like in South Africa. Anything that's being nationalized will turn to dust within South Africa, and it will stop existing. And that's our viewpoint on that.
I'll come back and I'll share with you what the World Bank has to say about some of these things. But Mr. Kaba?
Very much, Sakina. The PAC once more. Yes, the minerals have been nationalized, but the mining operations have not been nationalized. And that has facilitated the illicit flow of money. Mines are naughty of undercharging our minerals. Therefore, we cannot even recover the tax that we have. Mines are very notorious of underestimating the weight that they put on the market and underestimating the price. They sell to each other's company. They are all based in London. They don't sell at the going price of the market to their own companies. So the PAC want to stop illicit, and we want to stop the corruption that is happening, that they give shares to individuals within the country.
We'll have more time on the news channel.
No, thank you very much. Well, currently the state is unable to tell us how many chrome has been mined here in Northwest. They assume, they get to say, okay, Samanko, how many of you mined? Then Samanko tells them. They are unable to state with certainty that this is how much has been mined. That is why there must be nationalization of mines. That is why we get shocked when the MEC of Health, who is supposed to be a communist, doesn't know what is nationalization of mines. That clearly shows that he was failed in what he was taught. But we are saying there must be nationalization of mines. We must be able to know as the state, this is how much has been mined here in this mine. Right. It must also ensure that there is a mining company.
We'll continue after 8.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Masango?
Thank you, Sakina. We believe in the question of nationalization of the mines. As a Democratic Alliance, we believe that there is a context within which we are operating in South Africa. If you look around at anything that is owned by government, it has collapsed completely. So we are saying that government's job is to provide the legislative and the policy framework so that the business can thrive, so that people can get jobs, because we know that the mining sector in South Africa has declined.
There's a broader question for you and for Mr. Mika here, but a quick one, Mr. Mika, before we close out, and then we'll come back with your answers.
I just wanted to deal with one question from Sambata, Comrade Sambata, that he is spot on. You know, people who speak about nationalization of mines are confusing two things. The mining houses and the mineral, what you call ownership. You can't, when you have been given minerals to belong to you through the people and you are a custodian, you then say you want to go and mine. It's like when you go and have a...
Pause. We're just putting you on pause. We're going to take those answers because unfortunately we have to say goodbye to our viewers on SABC 2.
Next week, we're back in Johannesburg, where we're talking all matters the youth. Join us then. Quick break. We'll be back after this.
All right. And that's that.
From the seventh wonder of the world. Whether it's land, at sea, the choppy waters of the unknown, we bring you up to speed with the latest news, traffic, and of course sports news right here on Morning Live.
To all the fun moments in life as we put the hip and the hub into your step and bring you the fun right here on Morning Live.
And not forgetting the reality of daily life.
Well, I'll tell you what, quite exciting here in the Northwest Province and interesting to listen to the conversations and the questions that people are asking of the elected representatives that are seated on the stage forming our panel here this evening. And if you've just joined us late for whatever reason, we're joined by the Forum for Service Delivery, the Freedom Front Plus, the PAC, EFF, the DA, and of course the ANC. And I kind of rushed you through those last two answers, but I want to come back to you just to give you an opportunity to respond to the questions that were put to both of you. Let's start with you from the DA, Ms. Masango. Let's start with you. Just give an opportunity to finish your response there.
Thanks, Sakina, and thank you for that question about the DA and the nationalization of mines. The DA believes that the government's job is to govern. It's not a business. It's not a business. So the government must give businesses ease of operation, ease of doing business. And we are saying that when government gives the business the clear and simple investment sectors for them to know what it is that is expected of them, for them to be able to employ people, for them to be able to do the work that they know best. And we agree with the situation where the education of this country must be sector as based, so that people don't just learn things that are not going to help them after they've been to school. So we believe as the Democratic Alliance that the business of government is lawmaking. The business of government is to oversight the businesses by making sure that they have the ease of doing business. As far as the youth unemployment is concerned, we are saying as the Democratic Alliance that the minute we take over government in next month, we will make sure that youth who are the most unemployed in this country get what we are calling the youth unemployment certificate, where they will be able to be employed in whatever sector that they are employed in, and there is no limits to what they can be paid. Whilst we are sorting out other things like legalizing legislative frameworks and policy frameworks. And we are saying that the youth of this country is available, they are trained, they have degrees, but there is no work. So the sooner we get people out of the SRD 370 rand into jobs, into high-paying jobs that they can put food on the family's table, the sooner the better. And so as a DA, no nationalization, government governs, business does business. Thank you, Sakina.
All right. Mr. Masaule?
Thank you very much, Sakina. The point I was making before was that here you are government. You own and you are a custodian of mineral resources beneath the soil on behalf of the people. You give rights to people to mine. It's yours, you own it. But you come back and say, let's nationalize that which I have and own. There's no logic in that. How do you nationalize something that which you own already? There's no logic, and therefore that's why nationalization of mines, if it's not contextualized properly in the current environment we find ourselves in, it won't happen. There's a gentleman who asked about the ANC not doing anything. I want to take a few examples of the Northwest. 549 million was spent in the Northwest alone on SLPs. Northwest alone since 2019. That's the government of the ANC at work. There is a collaboration between the University of Northwest, the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, to build an engineering and mining engineering, what you call university here, a school, to train miners and engineers in that regard. You see, when we speak about SLPs, we have said we have not done enough as the ANC, but there has been more that has been done. Just imagine 549 million spent in one province alone. One province alone. Just imagine what happened in the rest of the country. We have delivered, we continue to deliver, and we will deliver services to our people. Thank you.
I'll tell you what, it certainly is very interesting. I think there are some very interesting responses coming through. And Blaine, I'm going to come to you in just a second because, you know, in preparation for these debates, we read through a lot of material. And perhaps, Mr. Masaule, this is an opportunity to educate the rest of us. The World Bank says that in South Africa, 10% of the population owns more than 80% of the wealth. If we look at what's happening in Botswana, when you talk about the state owning the resources, the mineral resources. The government of Botswana owns 50% of Botswana with De Beers. So give us in South Africa where that is the case, where when you say the government owns, the state owns these resources, just break it down for us so we understand.
So Sakina, the state, by the way, is involved in mining. The state is involved in mining, by the way, if you don't know. There is what we call African Exploration and Mining Finance Corporation, which is a state-owned company that is mining in South Africa. We have since told the AE that they must expand their mining products, because right now they are only mining what we call coal, and we are saying they must expand to mine diamonds, to mine fluorspar, to mine minerals of the future, and to mine everything that we don't know about in terms of resources here, and also enter in the beneficiation space as government. We have Alexco, if you know, it's a state-owned mining company that mines diamond. So there is participation of the state in the mining sector. What we are refusing to have is for the state to be owning these mineral resources and want to mine. It's like, Sakina, when you go to the Department of Transport, you ask for a license, and then you meet all the requirements. They give you a license. But the government says to you, that's your car, but we want to drive it on your behalf. It's not like that. It can't happen. It doesn't happen like that. Mines must be allowed to mine because they are given rights by the government, which is a custodian of the mineral wealth beneath the soil.
As I go to you, Blaine, that same report of the World Bank also states that 30 years after the end of apartheid in South Africa, race remains a key factor in South Africa's high levels of inequality due to the impact of education and the labor market. While ethnicity contributes 41% to income inequality, education contributes another 30%. Let me park that there. Blaine?
Yes, Sakina, those are hot-button election issues, no doubt. Let's get 3 quick questions in this round before we get responses. Your name and your question.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kabelo. Going back to the main question of
Blaine,
the day.
if we could please ask for the gentleman to speak up, because I think the panel up here cannot hear.
Let's raise your voice.
All right, thank you. My name is Kabelo Mbowani, and then my question today with regard to beneficiation is that how all the political parties, how are they going to ensure that employment is being provided to the people, because currently we are facing the issue of gatekeeping. This whole thing of employment is being politicized, and then if you do not know anyone or you do not have any form of connection, you are not going to be employed. Nationalization is merely a transfer or change of the ownership structure of the mine. So that does not... Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much indeed. Let's get your name and your quick question.
Evening, my name is Stefan, and I'd like to ask all of the parties represented here, on this hotly debated topic, there are certainly a lot of perspectives, but I would like to ask, if we were to go through with the nationalization of mines, how would your party propose to strengthen the state and ensure that these new resources are able to reach South Africans? And for those that are pro-privatization, how would you make sure that businesses give South Africans a fair deal?
Thank you very much indeed. Let's get another question from the far end. But if you're wondering what beneficiation is, it is basically a value-adding process. So you're transforming minerals into higher-end or higher-valued products that can be consumed locally or exported. But the question is, how are people benefiting from this beneficiation? Your question.
Okay. My name is Nombieke Zongosian. My question goes to PAC. If PAC ithola i-chance yophatha izakwenza ntoni eMarikana? Like eMarikana akho ndlela, akho manzi, kuhlala emikhukhwini. So ngicela ukubuza uba if PAC ithola i-chance zeziphi changes ezawuzenza?
Thank you very much indeed. Sakina, if I can, just one more question on my left-hand side. And then, okay, I'll take you then. Okay, just two more questions.
Yeah. My first question, I've got three questions.
You just get one. We just got to have time for one, sir. Just one question, sir. Pick your best.
No. Let me just take this one to the ANC with regard to beneficiation. There has been talks and discussions around many structures of the alliance with regard to the beneficiation of our mineral resources.
Right.
How soon can we see beneficiation taking place so that our minerals resources must benefit the citizens of this country?
Thank you very much indeed. I'm told I've got space for one more. Let's take a quick question and then we get some...
No, thank you very much. My name is Stanley Kwamabe. Mine is to commend the economic freedom fighters on the clarity that they've provided tonight to the people of South Africa and all these other political parties. I'm saying the first pillar, number one, of the economic freedom fighters is the land expropriation without compensation. And in that land, the mining as well comes as part of what we are going to inherit as a government. I'm saying clearly from what the ANC is saying, after ruling for 30 years, they've got nothing to offer. They are running out of ideas. So I am saying on the 29th of May, let's vote for the EFF to see the nationalization of my country.
It's over to you.
All right. Thanks so much, Blaine, on the floor there. And I hope all of you heard the questions because some of those questions were directed to everyone on the panel. And looking at the time allocated, I'm going to give each of you 2 minutes to actually respond to the questions that have been put. And if you wish to factor in anything else, please do so. Let me start at the end.
Thank you. As Forum for Service Delivery, we are saying we are 80% service delivery and 20% politics. In those minds, we're going to make sure that our people are benefiting. As we say, we're going to nationalize the mines. We are saying our people must benefit. Not that mines go straight to the government, but our people must benefit. We're going to make sure that our people have shares in those mines so that they benefit. We're going to make sure that, as I said, we're going to open those skill classes and so that our people can benefit, especially those who are around those mines. Because those mines must start to benefit not only them, but all, especially here in Madibeng, all the South Africans. Those mines must benefit us. We're going to make sure that we get them those shares because this is our minerals, and then we're going to make sure that because
Freedom Front Plus. Freedom Front.
Thank you. I think in privatization of mines, to keep it privatized is also to regulate your mineral resources. If you currently look, our mineral resources are being exported raw, but imported in a finished product. Like, for example, a ring or a bracelet that's made of gold. Why not do it within South Africa's border? Why must we export raw material to other countries to process and bring it back to South Africa to sell? So we firstly say that by privatization, firstly, your education must be international standard. So getting up education also sets a place there where entrepreneurs can actually flourish. Therefore, a stronger economy with less red tape. And as soon as that flourishes, skills transfers from all over the world must come to South Africa. That is the only way that we can keep mineral resources and process it within South Africa and get it through to the rest of the world, bringing the money back to South Africa.
PAC?
Thank you very much, Sakina. The PAC promises the mining communities, particularly Marikana, that when the PAC takes over on the 29th, we will make sure that the infrastructure in those communities is up to scratch, building roads and building housing. There are two phases of doing that. The first phase is to enforce what is already in legislation, to make the mines do what they are supposed to do. The second phase, of course, is to bring the mining operation under the state and make the local government do what it's supposed to do and provincial government in terms of housing. Secondly, in terms of beneficiation, the PAC is very clear that we need to open industries. There is enough capacity in terms of the properties and the warehouses that are available for us to manufacture.
EFF, your final word?
No, thank you very much. So as the EFF, part of the things that we are going to do is that we are going to have beneficiation and development schools that the ANC has failed to do. We are going to build schools in the mining areas so that children can go and learn about the mineral resources which are in their area. As the EFF, we are going to ensure that we build factories, because for you to have beneficiation, it means you must build factories. Already are existing factories which have been closed down. For the past 30 years, they've been closed down, they've been shut down. We are going to reopen all those factories and build more factories to ensure that all raw materials, they don't leave this country as raw as they are. They must be finished products.
All right.
As the EFF, we are going to ensure that we have...
Thanks, Sakina. DA, as the Democratic Alliance, we believe that when government governs and in a privatized environment with clear policies and regulations that will guide business to do business and open opportunities for people to be employed, young people in particular, you will have a situation where the economy improves. You will have people that are employed, that are living in dignity, and that are actually paying taxes. At the moment, we have more people using the tax than the ones that are paying it.
All right. ANC?
Sakina, we don't dream in the ANC. In the ANC, we don't dream, we implement. So one of the ways in which we are going to ensure that there is beneficiation in the country is that we are going to impose tax on companies that are exporting raw materials. Why do we do that? We want to force companies to see value in building processing plants in South Africa, because it will be expensive for them if they take the raw materials outside of the country. So there must be more value for companies to see the need to build processing plants here so that we encourage beneficiation.
Well, thank you so much to our parties this evening. ANC, DA, EFF, PAC, Freedom Front Plus, and the Forum for Service Delivery. So that's how we end it here this evening in the Northwest, Blaine.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Stand by for Democracy 30 up next with Oliver Dixon. Until next week, take care. Bye-bye.
Do you know how, why?